Hello, love. Thank you for spending time with me today. As you saw in my thumbnail and my title, I sold 30 items on eBay alone in the month of May. Now, these came from various sourcing strategies, and I'm going to go ahead and share what those sourcing strategies are as I go through each individual thing that sells, just because I find it interesting to know what is selling from these different sourcing strategies and how much I am making from each one. I find it interesting to see what other people are selling. So I'm hoping by sharing my sales, I can help you with your sourcing as well. So the first item that sold on eBay in the month of May was a Runaway black faux leather shorts. This sold for $9. I did get these through a ThredUp rescue box in which I got 200 pounds, and I estimated my cost of goods to be just under $3. 2 days later, on May 7th, I sold an iPhone 10 case. Now this sold for $235. I was pretty much trying to get rid of it because I didn't know how many people are getting an iPhone 10 case nowadays. But I did get this from a Quicklotz Nordstrom general merchandise half pallet. Another 3 days went by and I sold my next piece. This was on May 10th and it was a Victoria's Secret charm or like chain link bracelet. This came from some free inventory that I sourced through the Nextdoor app. I reached out to somebody through comments on a different post on Nextdoor. I've been going to this person every few months ever since last July actually, and I've gotten hundreds, probably 500 items at this point from this person. This particular piece sold for $2. It was free though, so I'm okay with that for sure. This next one also was free inventory. It's Lulin Gray Lyocell blend pants. This sold for $22 because it was free. I was so excited to see it go for that, considering the last piece before that was $2. That's 10 times between one piece and the next piece that was selling. Yet another piece of free inventory. This was a Tommy Hilfiger sweater dress. This sold for $9 to the buyer. Of course, the buyer paid for shipping as well. It was free. I was happy with it. Next piece, free inventory. Of course, as you can see, my free inventory is definitely winning right now. This Loft blue dress sold for $15. The buyer also paid for shipping. I will say when the buyer received this item, they were kind of bummed out because they didn't realize that this was more of a navy color. I guess I just put it as blue and I didn't necessarily specify that it was navy blue, so they were kind of bummed, but they said they liked it anyways, and you know, I still made my money. It's all good. This next piece also was free, but it wasn't from that person. I full-time am an assistant principal, and I always go to all these conferences, different meetings, all kinds of stuff that they give away, all these giveaways. So this book was something that I read, but I was given it at one of the conferences that I attended. It is Disrupting Thinking in terms of reading. This sold for 99 cents. The buyer did pay for shipping, but again, it was free. 99 cents. I will definitely still take that. By the way, I am looking at my notes on my computer, so if I look away ever so slightly, that's just what I'm looking at. I want to make sure I get you all the right information. This next item actually came out of my personal closet that I have had for, I don't know, probably 10 years now. This was an American Eagle knit sweater. This sold for $3.75. The buyer did pay for shipping. Because it was for my personal closet and it was so old, I almost feel like it was free. I guess I technically paid something for it, but I don't remember how much I paid at all. So I don't know. I still considered it free because I probably would have given it away if I wasn't reselling. This next piece came from the free inventory that I sourced through Nextdoor. I don't know if it's Jillian, I'm going to say Gillian and O'Malley. It was gray and white pajama pants. I did also have the shirt, which I didn't have in the listing, but I went ahead and mailed the shirt out with this item as well. It sold for $9. The buyer did pay for shipping for it. This next piece was not free inventory. This actually came from a flip lot. These were 501 Levi's that sold for $42. So definitely happy about that sale. Even though I split, I believe this lot was 50-50. I still made on that for sure compared to like my 99-cent, $8 sales there. The buyer, again, did pay for shipping. So if we're talking in terms of volume, the free inventory is definitely winning. But if we're talking about the sale price, I would say the flip lots seem to be winning out at this point. Now, this next item to sell was Michael Kors silver platform shoes. I had these shoes for probably 2 years and I wore the heck out of them. And I actually sourced them off of Poshmark for myself used. I want to say I probably spent about $15, maybe $30 is as much as I would have spent on them. And these sold after me wearing them for 2 years for $15. So even though I didn't make my money back, I feel like I made out on it because I wore them so many times. This Victoria's Secret blue t-shirt came from the free inventory from the Nextdoor app. This sold for $8. The buyer also did pay for shipping for it. This Breitling Baseball Hat came from a Breitling watch that my boyfriend actually purchased. You know, you buy an expensive watch and they give you a hat along with it. Definitely making out on that. This sold for $51. The buyer did also pay for shipping. Previous to this, I did sell this listing, but I accidentally sent out the wrong hat because he had 2 watches, 2 hats. I sent the wrong one. Luckily, the first buyer was still happy with the purchase they made, but the second time it sold for about double. I want to say it last sold for like $25, maybe $28, something like that. So I'll take the 51 over the 20, whatever. This Jones New York blouse, it was like a tank blouse, came from a ThredUp rescue box, which I said my cost of goods was just under $3 for. This sold for $8.10. The buyer did also pay for shipping for this. This next one also came from that same ThredUp rescue box. It was a Fun to Fun mod cloth long sleeve blouse. This sold for $9. The buyer also paid for shipping. This lot of 4 Novelty Socks came from a Quicklotz Amazon pallet in which I estimated my cost of goods to be about 50 cents on that. These 4 items, so 50, 50, 50, 50, definitely didn't match 99 cents. I lost money on it, but I have made so much money on that palette that I'm not even mad about it. I was really just trying to get this out of my inventory because they were kind of bulky. Luckily, the buyer did pay for shipping for it though, so I guess it worked out. These H&M high-waist lace shorts came from the free inventory that I got through the Nextdoor app. These sold for $5. The buyer also paid for shipping for them. These Karl Lagerfeld, I almost said Lagerfeld. I always want to say that. And when I say like Seinfeld, I want to say Seinfeld. You know, your brain just kind of messes with you a little bit. But anyways, these sold for $25. The buyer did pay for shipping. These came from one of my first flip lots in which I had a 40% commission and the client got to keep 60% because that was when I was just starting off. I just wanted to like get in the game, get some reviews under my belt, get used to the system. So I didn't make all that much money off of this, but it still was making sales. I still made money on it and it just, you know, it triggered some more sales as well. So the sale that it did trigger was a Calvin Klein dress that I got from free inventory. This sold for $28. The buyer did pay for shipping for it as well. This Loft gray striped shirt came from free inventory. This sold for $5 and the buyer did pay for shipping for it. This next piece actually came from inventory that I am consigning with a friend for. This Polo Ralph Lauren button-down shirt sold for $14.59. The buyer did pay for shipping for it, and that is a 50-50 split. So I was able to keep, you know, half of that and still make money and make my friend money as well. This gray and black flowy tank came from a ThredUp rescue box in which I sold this for $9. Remember, my cost of goods on that was just under $3, so I did make a little bit of money. The buyer did also pay for shipping for this one. This Michael Kors eyelet dress, it was like a white eyelet dress, sold for $14. It came from the free inventory. The buyer did also pay for shipping. I will say that this item took forever to get to the buyer. I'm in Orlando, the buyer is in Miami. It took over a week to get there. I mean, I shipped this out. I think they bought it at like, I don't know, 7 p.m. and I shipped it out the very next day. So it wasn't on my part. But I don't understand. I know that sometimes there can be shipping issues, but going from Orlando to Miami, I wouldn't think that would take over a week. The buyer was very frustrated and asked if I can cancel the order. I explained that I did my part. I shipped out the item. Luckily, when they opened the case, eBay closed the case right away because the very same day the item was shipped. So it wasn't on my part. eBay saw through that and they went ahead and just, you know, took care of that cancellation request for me. This rose and olive tank came from a ThredUp rescue box. This sold for $176, and thinking of my cost of goods to being about $3, obviously I lost money on this item, but the buyer did pay for shipping and it was a little bit over on the shipping. So I guess I made my money back on this particular item. This black and white like swimsuit cover up came from a Quicklotz Amazon palette. This sold for $8. I did have several of these and actually I still have one more, but I want to say I had like 10 of these that came in the Amazon palette. This particular one sold for $8. The buyer did pay for shipping and was very happy with their purchase as well. This Lularoe gray swing dress came from free inventory, of course, anything Loft, and Lularoe gray is a Loft brand. Came from the free inventory. It sold for $10. The buyer also did pay for shipping for it. These airy lounge shorts came from a flip lot. These sold for $10. The buyer also paid for shipping, obviously because I have to split that cost with the client. I don't know that this was necessarily the best sale, but considering the other items that I'm getting in these lots, I'm okay with it. It all kind of evens out. And plus, the good thing with Flip is if it doesn't sell within the 90 days, you can ask the client if you want to purchase the lot, if you want them to just donate, or if you want them to send it back as well. I probably, for some of these, I'm just going to say I'm going to send them back, but some of them I might have a buyout offer. Other things like this that sold for $10, I had a couple of things before sell for like $3. And some of the lots I might just say, I don't know if it's honestly worth sending it back. Do you want me to just drop it off at Goodwill? I luckily have a Goodwill donation box right across the street from my house. So when I do donate stuff, it's actually pretty easy to take it over there. It doesn't have to be this like huge event for me. Sometimes I just have a couple of shirts and I walk it across the street. I don't even have a bag or anything. So that might be what I do with some of these items that aren't selling. I also have a clothing closet at my school in which students that, you know, don't have the money to purchase new clothes, or say they spill something or get a hole in the middle of the day, they can go to this closet and pick out anything. And it really is set up like a store. And sometimes I take old inventory there as well. In my Quicklotz Amazon palette, I got a whole bunch of just t-shirts with different sayings on them, and they really weren't selling. So I just took a whole bunch of them to my school, and the kids actually love them. But anyways, I say that to say there's always somebody who needs clothes, always somebody who wants the clothes. So these clothes, if I don't end up selling them, will go to somebody. There's also the buy nothing groups. I am part of a buy nothing group in my town. Sometimes I get items for my school. Sometimes I get items for myself. I recently got a whole bunch of puzzles that they've been sitting. They've been sitting definitely, but hopefully one day I will get to them, but they were free. So, I guess that's why I don't feel bad building them. I hate spending money on puzzles. Because it's just a one-time event. I don't know why puzzles are like upwards of $30 sometimes. That's why I do the buy nothing with those. But anyways, I got away from my sales for a second, little distracted on my talking there. Let's get back to it. This Lularoe T-shirt came from a ThredUp rescue box. This sold for 99 cents. The buyer did pay for shipping, and I think I overcharged on shipping a little bit for this one as well, so I guess I made out on it. But still, the 99-cent sales, that's just me trying to get rid of inventory. This Hot Wheels Justice League Hot Wheel came from my mom. She works in a Target and in different department stores, and she sometimes sees what things go on sale. Like, I don't know if you have heard of Target's trying to get rid of a lot of inventory right now, so they're marking stuff down like crazy. This Hot Wheels, there was a complete set, but I broke it up into different listings, was one of the things that they were trying to get rid of. I think these were 50 cents when she purchased them. It sold for $2.24. Obviously, from 50 cents to $2.24 wasn't that much of a profit, but I was selling it and made money. It worked out. Now, one thing I will say that's cool about Flyp is I'm learning some new brands that I had never heard of before. These Bernie Mev shoes came from one of those Quicklotz. These sold for $20. The buyer also did pay for shipping, and that was my last sale in the month of May. Of course, June on, I have made some sales since, and some of them were from Flyp, some of them from ThredUp, Quicklotz. I get all these different sourcing strategies. If it has been interesting to you to hear about what is selling and where these items came from, I so appreciate if you go ahead and hit that like button. In the meantime, if you haven't gotten caught up with all my videos yet, YouTube thinks that you would find interest in this one. Of course, if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That allows my videos to continue to show up on your homepage as well as the homepage of others. That allows us to continue to learn and grow together.